Okay, so somebody running an Amazon business who's making, I don't know, $60,000 a year, let's put it that way, is, in my opinion, far happier than the average finance bro who is making $100,000 a year sitting at a desk and working. Hands down, in my opinion. And today I'm going to explain exactly why you should seriously, and I mean seriously, consider starting an Amazon business in 2026 because it is one, the best business for beginners, and two, in my opinion, it is a complete gold rush in a category that has been underserved on this platform and practically everywhere for years. So first I want to start with some of the basics actually. So one of the basic things that comes with running a business really at all and being the chief executive officer, I like to say the whole word out because it sounds fancy, is really because you get location freedom. And because you get location freedom, you get to do things like I'm doing right now. This is clearly not in Tampa, Florida, which is where I usually am. Look at the background. The jersey says it all. Just put it that way. Literally, look where I am. This is Portugal. I'm in Lisbon, Portugal. You have complete location freedom. I don't have to be locked to a desk. I don't have to stay in one city. I don't have to move my whole family. I can do whatever I want. And that freedom is absolutely priceless. You can't put a dollar amount on it, in my opinion. And another thing is, like, as I just said, I'm clearly out of the country, but in my opinion, one thing that's really important is that you understand that working on the beach is far superior to working at a desk. Hands down, full stop. And once again, one of those things that's just priceless that comes with being the owner of your own business, whether that's Amazon or any business. I'm just going through the basics right now before we even touch the Amazon stuff. Next up, I want to get into the fact that location freedom in itself may make you happier. There's some studies I've seen and studies that have been presented in various YouTube videos that obviously money doesn't bring happiness. Everyone knows that, and that's something that's always said to people who are trying to make a lot of money. But what actually does bring happiness is the freedom. So people who are more free actually experience higher levels of dopamine and happiness long term. So one thing I do want to present as well in the, what I'm going to call the basics, right, is this location freedom aspect of owning a business may make you very happy. And I can attest to that myself. I am a lot happier being like this than working a job. One important thing in the basics of owning any business at all is that you're your own boss. You have no boss. And the reason that's important is not because the boss is just an ass to you and everyone else and he's a terrible boss, yada yada, like the typical. It's not that. It's the fact that you escape the kid-parent dynamic. So this is something that I kind of learned at a young age when I was constantly being told what to do over and over again, is that, like, that's a dynamic you want to escape. It once again goes back to this freedom sort of ability to have choice. Not that you wouldn't make the same choice that your parents would give you because your parents want the best for you, and a lot of times you would make the choice that they want, but I'm just saying you escape that dynamic. So when things need to happen that is more important for your end goal, you are able to make that choice rather than being told to do it. So another important thing as well in the basics, you gain autonomy, things like being able to sleep in, my favorite luxury. I am not going to wake up at 5 in the morning at all. It is just ridiculous. And to make a lot of money online, you don't have to wake up early in the morning. And a lot of online entrepreneurs have started debunking this myth totally. Waking up in synchronization, like when the sun goes up and the sun goes down, does have health benefits. That's not what I'm going against. But a lot of people think you need to be on this Goggins, wake up at 5 a.m. sort of thing, and that's just false. Gaining autonomy when you're like doing everything for yourself rather than being given a list of things to do and being told what to do, you escape the kid-parent dynamic, and I think that is something that just cripples everybody. I think you should be able to make executive decisions on your own rather than being told to do things. Like, it's more of like critical thinking skills and thinking for yourself, in my opinion, which I think is an important aspect of business. Now that we have housekeeping things out of the way, let's get straight into the benefits of the best business on planet Earth for beginners. Okay, number one. Now, what Amazon haters and their business model doesn't have, a lot of them are failing business models, by the way, let's just keep that abundantly clear, is simply the fact that we are an inventory-based business, and we've been doing this since shoes. since sneaker reselling, a lot of us were sneaker resellers. And the sneaker resellers who come over to Amazon are just undefeated. We've been doing this since we were little. But the benefit of inventory-based businesses that we know from sneaker reselling is free flights everywhere in the world. Imagine this, you spend $50,000 on inventory 1 month. That's at a 1% cashback rate, or one-to-one travel point rate, because we're talking about travel points. That 1%, that's $500. So that times 12, run the numbers. Even less, like even if you're spending $5,000 a month and you're getting started, $50 a month, and you bank those for a year. And that's a low rate, right? I'm not even talking about like the Ink Unlimited where it's 1.5% or other cards that get more or better benefits for certain categories, right? Because there is so much spend. And like last month I spent like 100 grand on inventory. So like, yeah, things are just ramping up. But it's like, there's so much spend. Anywhere in the world is free. They're free. I haven't paid for a flight since 2022. Before I started this business. I started this model in 2023. Sneakers ended at the end of 2021. So, yes, it is one of the best perks of just being an Amazon seller is you can fly anywhere in the world for way cheaper, for free, compared to any other model because it is an inventory-based business. This is exclusive really to inventory-based businesses. So, we're talking about if you buy and sell watches, like if you sell Rolexes, like you're still spending so much, like you have the same benefits is what I'm saying. But a lot of the Amazon haters are not watch dealers or people that run actual businesses. They're people who run fake businesses that try to present themselves as people that actually run businesses, if that makes sense. Next up, we have no state income tax in Florida. So I personally live in Florida. Bezos moved to Florida and that made headlines. A lot of people know that, but the reason so many entrepreneurs migrate to Florida really is the no state income tax. So
if you're looking to scale your wholesale business with mentors like me, Jonah Hodges, who is an 8-figure seller, Kajua Robinson, who is a multi-7-figure per year seller, feel free to book a call for the wholesale network in the link below. I will personally hop on there myself and explain all the benefits with you and go over everything. I think it's the best and easiest way to scale this business and the most efficient way to do it. If you are looking to take this business very seriously, I think mentorship is beyond necessary. That's my personal opinion. This is the group I joined to scale my wholesale business, and now I'm lucky enough to be a coach in it. So feel free to book a call down below, and I will see you on the call shortly.
You save 10% on taxes just by living in Florida. I don't know the other states. I just know mine because I live in Florida. What I do know is California doesn't have that benefit, and it's heavily criticized. But yeah, if you live in Florida, for example, you get 10% back for free. So if that's $50,000, $5,000 back in your pocket per year, that's not going to Uncle Sam. Next, we're going to have massively lower tax bills. So yeah, that's obvious. Many things are written off in this business. There's marketing expenses, there's equipment expenses, and a lot of this stuff, office expenses, a lot of this stuff you already buy. So if you have a good accountant, you're going to have a massively lower tax bill. It's absolutely guaranteed. You're going to pay far less in taxes running a business on a percentage basis, not actually, because you may end up making a lot more money than you would having a 9-to-5 W-2. That is a fact. It's just simply not debatable. I don't know why people try to debate this point online. And people have tried to debate me about this point in person, actually, and I'm just like dumbfounded. One of the nice things about this business, especially if you're utilizing credit, which I do recommend, but you need to be extremely tight and responsible with it, because I've seen way too many people run to Miami and go downhill, is building excellent credit scores much, much faster. That's very important. So if you're my age, like when I was starting and I was 20 years old, my credit score went from practically non-existent to 765 by the end of 2023. Now, before that though, I had an authorized user card. So within a year and 9 months, I was at about a 765 credit score, and that secure card I had open became unsecured. One of the best ways to build credit, secure card by the way, but builds excellent credit scores much faster. Reason being, you have more cards open. I started off with personal cards and they're getting paid off so fast, constantly. like multiple payments per month. It's amazing, and it builds excellent credit much faster, and you just build relationships with banks faster, which is very important, especially if you intend on doing real estate or something where you're going to need funding later. It is fantastic. Another benefit, we got networking with millionaires. So constantly, I mean, every event we go to, there's plenty of millionaires there that do Amazon, and there's a lot of them, by the way. It's such an underserved niche, Amazon. Like, you don't really hear about much of them online. You really don't. So networking with a lot of them, like I have plenty of friends that are very well off from Amazon that help me in the business as well. And this is something that is such a perk to being in this business model, because there's plenty of other business models where there's just not really get-togethers and all this stuff. And like the networking is more difficult. Here, like networking is really encouraged, and you're constantly networking with high net worth, high status individuals, which I think is a big benefit. So this one's pretty sick. $1,000 to $2,000 in profit every single month in cash back. So when you're buying things, especially in the arbitrage side of things, there's multiple ways to get this cash back. So there's Rakuten, which is a lot of people use it. You click their little extension. They get like a referral cut, because I don't know the specifics, but essentially they're referring you to purchase the product, kind of like an influencer would, but you're just clicking the button on the extension that comes up, and you take a percentage in cash back. And I've seen people get thousands of dollars in bills. I mean, the big sellers have posted screenshots of them getting like $10,000 quarterly bills. I've seen up to 25. It's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy. That's just one bit of the cash back though, and that's more of an OA thing. In wholesale though, the cash back is just ridiculous, because like most of my spend, it's divided. I use both travel and cash back cards, but the Ink Premier, a Chase Ink Premier for example, is 2.5% cash back on any purchase over $5,000. That is absurd, and it's really the highest rate on the market in my opinion, without the Bank of America sort of Merrill Platinum status, whatever it is, Merrill Lynch, whatever it is. It's the highest rate on the market. Absolutely fantastic. I mean, it's extra money in your pocket constantly that you can invest or do whatever with, really. But the best part of this business is the supercharged compounding interest. There is absolutely nothing like it. Nothing like it. There's no better way to grow your money than having supercharged compound interest. There's no way. Let me put it in perspective. At a low ROI, you're making 10% per month. Extremely low. That's extremely low. You're probably not making that. I'm just giving this for an example. You sell 1 month worth of product. Let's say you had $1,000. You make 10%, you get $1,100 back. If you put that back in the business, you now make 10% off $1,100. Your principal keeps compounding on itself. The compounding interest is insane. If you really want to understand it, put it in a compounding interest calculator. If you would reinvest everything in the business, I believe the calculation was you're a multimillionaire within, I think it's 2 years. The stock market, like for example, is a 10% return every single year. That's the basis for it. Like if you invest in the Vanguard S&P 500, that's like the gold standard. So you're making that on a monthly basis. It's absolutely supercharged. And I mean, the S&P 500 is it's the most common advice you're going to hear from any financial professional is to invest in the S&P 500 because it compounds over time. One of the other benefits as well is that items are drop shipped 24/7. We have this benefit too. Drop shippers have this, but we have this benefit, except we put up the actual money. Items are drop shipped 24/7. We don't have to touch products. So that's something that's very important to know about this business, is you have absolute freedom. This is part of the location freedom thing for this business. You don't have to ship, you don't have to prep. You can pay a per unit fee and it's baked in already. So before you're buying the product, those fees are considered for before you're evaluating your profit. Items being drop shipped for you is just chef's kiss. I didn't have this in shoes. Maybe it was a thing in shoes, but I don't think it was, where there was prep centers and stuff. But my God, is this a good benefit? And I'm trying to tell you, like, not having to ship the inventory is just, it's so great. I barely touch anything. And if I do, it's because I choose to, because it was like a return that was used that was sent, and I wanted to get it back. Maybe I wanted to give it as like to a friend for free or something. Like, I don't know. There was a few things I got back in that manner, but you don't really have to touch it. Next up is countless tangible transferable skills. This business will teach you so many skills, just as shoes did. Surprisingly, I didn't think of this at the time, but there was so many transferable skills from that business, and this one is one of the same. I'm just going to list a few off, and there's plenty of more if you start thinking about it really. You got business management skills, you got financial management skills, you got Excel management skills. If you choose to go the Excel route, a lot of people do, most people in my opinion. Brand scaling, so if you're doing brand direct Amazon wholesale like I am, you may land exclusives with brands where you want to scale them on Amazon. And that is a valuable skill that you will get paid millions of dollars for, period. Because you're giving a business there's a direct key performance indicator for growth that you can use. And because of that, it's very easy to put a dollar amount on your work because like this scale is just barely anyone has a skill. Like brand scaling a brand on Amazon. And the people that do this are very wealthy. You got elite networking skills and sales skills and, plenty more. So there are tons of transferable skills. That's just a few that I wanted to write down. Lastly, we have Amazon actually handles the returns and the customer BS is what I like to call it. So they handle all the returns for you. It's called Fulfilled by Amazon. So they also handle the returns, the customer service, everything. You don't have to do that as well. It's very hands-off in that regard. So basically everything annoying is handled for by the behemoth, Amazon. It's great, isn't it? Yeah, it's a great perk. Next up, we also have probably the biggest benefit, and this is kind of one of the greatest parts about this business, is that once you scale and you actually put the hours in, you get to walk away. I'm here right now. You can see the background behind me a little bit. Like, I'm in Portugal, bro. Like, I'm not sitting there, like, in New Jersey where one of my warehouses is, and I'm not there packaging stuff. I'm not locked there. Unless you choose to run a warehouse, which people do because they save money at a certain scale. Now, it only makes sense at a certain scale, but regardless, I like the freedom, and I think it's very important to eventually have VAs just run the operations for you. This is a business where you can legitimately step away. I don't have to be on my laptop all the time unless I choose. I do enjoy working though, so I still do it a bit. I don't work that many hours a week anymore compared to what I did. Now on the come up, you're working a ton, so while you're on the way up, but once you get to where you need to go and you scale properly, it's over. Like, there's really the ability to step away and scale in that manner. Because you built this foundation that is so sturdy that there's really no falling anymore. There isn't. You have enough money for lawyers. If, brands come after you, which doesn't really happen, but they act like they're going to. If Amazon does something stupid where they ban your account, you have lawyers. Like, you have enough money at that point. So the point being, there's a point where you get to literally just step back and walk away. Just live your life. And it all comes back to this idea of freedom. When I said an Amazon seller making $60,000 per year is happier than somebody sitting at a desk, like your average finance bro, making $100,000 per year, what do you think? Do you agree or disagree? Feel free to comment down below. I'm genuinely curious, but I think it's pretty clear. What you want in life is not money, you want the freedom. The ways you go about getting your money is the important thing. And the relentless work that I personally have put in for the first 3 years of my business has now granted me that freedom, and I'm here to attest for it. It's absolutely possible. I think you should start this business specifically, and I think it's a complete no-brainer. If you want to know what business models are good, you should probably look at what the sneaker resellers were doing. The ones who were actually good, not the ones who made it look like they were good. The sneaker resellers who were actually good, like great. We're talking about like people who were making full-time incomes while they were sneaker reselling. There's a few of them. You may know some of them, but they were. I saw a reel that said they were the original coin makers. Like, they just know how to do pretty well for themselves. That I agree with. I don't think we're the originals, but yeah. If you want to know what's popping, just look at what the sneaker resellers are doing, bro. That's all I got to say in that regard. That's what's real, in my opinion. Sneakers was very real. Sneaker botting was very real. It's clear as day. I mean, anyone could see how much Yeezys were selling for on StockX back in the day, right? Hope you enjoyed this video. That is exactly why you should start an Amazon business in 2026 and 2027 and 2028, because it'll be around then, and 2029 and 2030. If you haven't figured it out, this business is not going to go anywhere. This business is here to stay. Amazon is way too big. We're all in too deep, honestly. The fact that I believe it's 2/3 of the entire country of the United States of America has an Amazon Prime account They're like 2/3 is paying $14.95 for the same thing monthly. It's too big. It's like wave the white flag when you can. Like it's the best idea that you're going to have in a while, and it's the best thing that you're going to do for yourself in years. Once you just wave the white flag and you just start taking advantage of what they actually brought to the table, it's remarkable. It really is remarkable. So once you realize it's not going anywhere, sellers, third-party sellers are not going anywhere. They sell most of the stuff on Amazon, by the way. It's not Amazon directly, it's third-party sellers. Once you just wave the white flag and you really get into the business and start it, your life will change forever. Anyways, with all that being said, that's all I have to say for this video. I hope you enjoyed. If you're looking for one-on-one mentorship to start this business, if you want me and 8-figure sellers, we're talking 10 to 15 million a year, coaching you alongside another 7-figure seller who's doing about $4 million a year in revenue brand direct, feel free to schedule a call in the link below. I will personally attend the call, and we will speak about your aspirations and what you want to do, and we will see if it is a good fit. I'm sure it will be if you're still watching this video, because not that many people are going to make it to the end. Everyone's attention span is fried, but yeah, I appreciate you watching. Like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.